What's good? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Well, actually, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. It's your boy, Snaps the Gorilla, aka The Definition. Welcome to Freedom's March. Welcome, Freedom Family, Freedom March, Freedom Family, and Freedom Lovers. Wow. Wow, wow. It is 12:30, August 4th, 2024, and it is a Sunday. It is a Sunday, the day after the Terrance Crawford versus Israel Masvidal fight. Wow. Wow, wow. Let me tell y'all right now. Masvidal was robbed, y'all. Masvidal was robbed. Terrance Crawford was gifted a decision. Terrance Crawford was gifted a decision, and I think Terrance Crawford knows that. That's why when he was asked about Canelo, he did not have the same energy. You know, he wants to spend time with his family. You know, rightfully so. He wants to think about spending time with family, all this, that, and the third. The Habakai was good. Are you seeing the rise of England? Nope, I'm not aware of any. Nope. I'm not aware of any riots in England, but I will look into that. I will look into that, Habakai. I know that's your homeland. I'll look into it, but I have not heard about that. Why? I wonder why they're rioting. I'll look into it. But man, Terrance Crawford lost to Israel Masvidal, y'all. And I know many Terrance Bud Crawford fans are not going to want to hear that. Yes, they gave him the decision, but even Terrance Crawford knows that he lost. That's why instead of entertaining a Canelo fight thought, he is going to go contemplate whether or not he wants to box anymore. Let me tell y'all that. Terrance Crawford is going to go home. He's going to look at all his babies, and he's going to say, yeah, Terrance might retire after this, y'all. Terrance Bud Crawford might retire after this. But I know one thing he should not do. Terrance Crawford should not pursue any longer a fight with Canelo Alvarez, and I think that's what he's going to end up doing. He's going to stop entertaining the idea of fighting Canelo Alvarez because he knows he got outclassed last night. Now, Canelo is not going to do to Terrance Bud Crawford what Masvidal did, which is outclass and outbox Terrance Crawford. That's what he did. You know, Masvidal had superior position. You know, he did a lot of feigning using his feet, which is the best way to feint, right? The best way to feint is to use your feet because you are almost damn near committing to throwing that punch, but you're not, right? So you're as close as you're going on that punch without throwing it when you use your foot. When you use your feet, you know, when you step in and you don't, you know, you're using the body English of feigning a jab or feigning a hook or feigning a cross, whatever you're feigning, you have to use your feet for certain people. Certain boxers, that's what they pay attention to because they know that foot placement, they know that footwork is paramount. And they're going to be paying attention to their opponent's foot position, right? They're going to pay attention to their foot position. And if you're feigning with your feet and with your hands, and you're doing distracting shit with your hands and all this, that, and third, and you don't know, your opponent doesn't know whether you're going to go to the body or go to the head, whether you're going to throw a hook or an uppercut or a straight, you know. Wow. Madrimov performed masterfully last night. And Terrance Bud Crawford lost. Okay? Now, I want to go back and look at the fight more thoroughly. But as of right now, that's what I think happened. I think that Terrance Crawford, let me tell y'all, man, it was a controversial decision to say the least. Now, this is my opinion, of course, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But if you think that Terrance Bud Crawford, a lot of people think that Terrance Bud Crawford won easily. No, that was that is the last word I would use for what Terrance Bud Crawford did last night. He did not win anything, let alone easily. He went the distance with Madrimov, right? He went the distance with a guy who was 10-0 or something like that. I think he had a draw or something before. But this dude this is the 11th fight, I think, 11th to 12th fight. And Terrance Crawford was 40-0. Now I understand what they were saying, Madrimov's team, when they said they were worried about, getting a fair decision. I think they well understood what was going on, and I think that Madrimov did enough to win. Madrimov did more than enough to win. Right? Now, some people are going to say Terrance Crawford did just enough to edge it out, but that's just not, in my mind right now, it's not reality. It's not the reality, y'all. And that's okay. That's okay. But, this is about Terrance Crawford. He don't need to pursue anything with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, listen, Terrance Bud Crawford's power did not transfer to 154, number one. But it's not really so much as power. Like I was talking about yesterday when I was doing a Rucker Live. It's not so much the power, it's the angles, right? It's the angle Terrance Crawford gets his shots off at. And punch placement, right? He was not able to use those angles. He was not able to find those triangles because Madrimov did not give him triangles. You know what I'm saying? The feigning, the herky-jerky movements, the unpredictability, right? That's what threw Terrance Crawford off. And that is why Terrance Crawford beat Errol Spence, because Errol Spence was predictable. That's why he had his way with Errol Spence. But Madrimov, he was not. Madrimov used feints. He was herky-jerky. He did not give a rhythm for Terrance Crawford. He had broken rhythm throughout the fight. He used a lot of straights, right? Caught Terrance Crawford down the middle. It's very difficult to get those shots off when those angles that I was telling you guys about, those awkward angles that Terrance Crawford and McGregor gets on people, it's very difficult to do that when you're fighting someone who doesn't allow that to be a problem for them. Madrimov's not allowed that to be a problem for him. He took away Terrance Crawford's best weapon, right? He took away Terrance Crawford's best weapon, which was Terrance Crawford's own unpredictability. The fact that Terrance Crawford can use those angles, right? His footwork. But here's another thing that Terrance Crawford does. Terrance Crawford, he opens himself up to shots with the way he fights sometimes, right? He leaves himself open. You know what I'm saying? And it just so happens that in these exchanges where Terrance Crawford leaves himself open and gets caught doing so, it didn't work this time, right? I forgot who that Russian fighter was that Terrance Crawford fought that buzzed the shit out of Terrance Crawford, right? Because he was doing the same thing. He was in an exchange, left himself open, got caught in the middle of an exchange, and he turned up on his opponent and knocked him out. But he could not do that to Madrimov because Madrimov did not allow. Here's one other thing. Madrimov did not respect Terrance Crawford's power. He did not respect Terrance Crawford's strengths, his capabilities. No, he nullified them, right? And he kept a cool head in there. He boxed his ass off. You can't be mad at Madrimov, man. Madrimov is going to be a problem at 154. I can see that now. Because I just based on his performance, I can't see anybody giving him a real problem except for Jermell Charlo. You know, since Jermell Charlo is actually talking about coming back, I think that Jermell Charlo gives Terrance Crawford problems because he's not going to be as predictable as Errol Spence. Terrance and Jermell Charlo could use what he saw, the exposure that Terrance Crawford got. Right, this is what these fighters are going to do. They're going to see Terrance Crawford got exposed. Terrance Crawford got exposed, especially up at those higher weights. By hearing by was good. Terrance Crawford got exposed at that higher weight class, and they understand now that Terrance Crawford's power did not translate. So all you need to do is nullify the angles, right? Don't let him get those angles on you. You don't let him get those angles on you, you're going to be okay. And how do you do that? Well, you throw a lot of straights. You do what Madrimov did. You basically do what Madrimov did. Straight punches, superior foot position, right? Because what did Terrance Crawford do? Terrance Crawford switched to southpaw and now really have to fight for outside foot position. Madrimov was able to do so. Once you get the outside foot position, you have the superior position. And if you don't take yourself too far out of position, you can throw your counters, you can land your counters, you know what I'm saying? You can, there are a lot of things you can do if you keep yourself in good position. You don't throw yourself off balance when you use angles, when you use footwork, right? When you defend against punches. When you defend against punches, against slips, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to slip too far to where you can't counter. Well, let me tell y'all, man, in my opinion, Terrance Crawford lost. And he does not need to do anything with Canelo. Like, just forget about it, right? Forget about it. If Canelo sends an offer, unless you want a great big payday. Now, I ain't going to be mad if Terrance Crawford fights Canelo anyway. Get that huge payday. And Terrance Crawford can't really say shit about Jermell Charlo going up there just to get some money. Because if Terrance Crawford takes a fight with Canelo right now, then he is letting everyone know that he is doing it for the same reason Jermell Charlo did, to get a payday. To get a payday. All right, you think that's what Jermell Charlo did? You fight Canelo right now? You fight Canelo in the near future? You're doing the same shit. You're doing it for a payday. And that's just the bottom line. That's the bottom line to it. Because if you engage with Canelo like Jermell Charlo refused to do, you could possibly, it's a huge possibility that you get knocked the fuck out. Terrance Crawford, stay away from Canelo. That's what you need to do. What is going with them? With this dead name? Listening to some worth of wisdom while I get up. Oh, that's what's up. By here and by. I appreciate the compliment. That's one of the best compliments that one may receive is that that people believe that they're wise. But I appreciate that. But I got to tell y'all, man. Great fights last night. Bacoli knocked out and stopped Jared Anderson. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be good for Jared Anderson. Future in the heavyweight division. Because It's just not. It's just not. Now, Bercoli is putting himself in a position to be the mandatory for some of those undisputed belts that Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk are going to have to rematch for. And here's the thing: if I were Madrimov's, and if I were Madrimov's team, I would petition, because Terrance Crawford got the WBA belts. He got the WBA belt. I think he got 2 belts last night. I think he got 2 belts. But if I were Madrimov, I would petition for an immediate rematch, right? I would have, just like they did with O'Shaquie Foster. When O'Shaquie Foster lost to I forgot the fucking name. When O'Shaquie Foster lost, and it was just a huge, just an obvious robbery. I think, yeah, they went ahead and the sanctioning body ordered a rematch. So I think that Madrimov should do the same thing, right? I think Madrimov should do the same thing, because that's just what's fair in boxing. That's just what's fair in boxing. Because a lot of people got robbed in the sport of boxing and nothing ever happened. I think we need to put a stop to that. I don't care who the fighter is. It just has to be fair across the board. It has to be fair across the board. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I think that decision should not be final, right? Yeah, have your judges score the fight, but the decision should not be final. If it goes to decision, the decision should not be final until it is reviewed, right? Reviewed by parties that are not judges, that outside of those 3 judges. I think there should be a review, right? A review where you score the fight. You go through meticulously, you in slow motion, and you count every punch. You assess everything. I think that might make it a little better. I think that might make the sport a little bit more, put it more in the light of integrity. I think there'll be a lot more integrity in the sport. I think people would appreciate the sport more. I think people would take the sport seriously more if there was some type of review after every decision. You know what I'm saying? I think that just should be the case. An automatic review. You know what I'm saying? Maybe give it 3 days. 3 days after the decision, there has to be a final decision, right? There has to be a final decision. You know what I'm saying? Look, the scoring is still in the hands of the judges. But if you do it this way, at least you can keep the judges honest. The judges will know that their work is going to be audited, and that there's oversight. There, you know what I'm saying? There's oversight. So I just think that's what it should be. But who knows, man? Who knows? I could be wrong. Madrimov could have lost. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is my opinion based on the first viewing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got to go back and really just look at it. But I don't think Terrance Crawford did enough. I just don't. I don't think he did enough to win. I don't think he did enough to get a draw. I think he lost. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? By hearing by, I appreciate that. I'm glad you got some. I'm glad you get something out of my content. That's great. I appreciate that. But yeah, y'all. I mean, wow. Madrimov he's pretty damn good. Everybody was talking about his athleticism, this, that, and the third, and people were like, "Oh, athleticism is not enough." But if you mix that athleticism with skill and IQ, it can take you far. In the sport of boxing. Athleticism, skill, IQ, you know what I'm saying? A level head, Don't overestimate your opponent. Don't underestimate your opponent. You know what I'm saying? Just calculate. Be calculated. You know what I'm saying? Be calculated. I think the Madrimal pulled it off, man. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll see what happens down the road. I think that Terrance Crawford, he might want to stay at 154, try to get undisputed, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Thunderbird might give him problems, right? Fundora. Sebastian Fundora might give him problems. Hell, Tim Tszyu might even give him problems. Because, listen, Terrance Crawford took some big shots. Terrance Crawford took some big shots from Madrimov. And Terrance Crawford, Tim Tszyu hits harder, in my opinion, than Madrimov. He's a bigger puncher. Now, he's not going to have the level of athleticism and footwork, but I don't think Tim Tszyu gets hurt by Terrance Crawford. I think Tim Tszyu can walk Terrance Crawford down, pound on him, you know what I'm saying, pound on him to the body, pound on him to the head, and that's a big problem. That's a big problem for Terrance Crawford. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. I might come back and do a different live stream dealing with what we got going on in the world, politics and whatnot, but I got to hit the head, and yeah, I'm going to let y'all go. Anyway, thank y'all for coming through. Much love. Like, share, subscribe, and make sure y'all keep marching forward toward freedom.